This is Jackie Helvey, and I'm here with Marc Levy, who is a filmmaker, and he made this fabulous film called We Are Here. It's about Paperhand Puppet Intervention, and we're going to talk about that. But first, Marc, tell me a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in Carrboro and stuff like that.
All right. Well, that was a great introduction. Thank you. And thank you for...
And it's a beautiful movie. It's just,
Thank you. I gotta tell you, when you emailed me, I was, it just was such a feeling of positivity and encouragement, that and validation that you being part of the Carrboro Film Festival, one of the, or if not the founder, it was great to get that email of encouragement. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And thank you for this. Doing
well, I got to tell you, it's a joy to watch a beautiful movie. We get I've looked at hundreds of films, and like I said, right away if it's worth looking at or not. And to come across such a beautiful piece of art as you created is a joy.
Wow, thank you. That's very nice. That's what we, that's what we live for.
That's why you do it,
That's what we live for. That's why we do it. So, thank you. To have something you toil away on, I'm sure you know what this is like. To have something that you toil away on in sort of a vacuum, where there's not necessarily continuous
positive feedback,
validation along the way, where you just have to sort of have faith in it.
Right.
To have that resonate with another human being is wonderful. It's hard to even describe, and so thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm glad it did resonate
you.
with you, and it's also a testament to the Paperhand Puppet people and what they do, and I was just so inspired by their work that they've been doing for the last 20 years.
Right. So tell people the story of first, what made you move to Carrboro?
Okay, great question. That's funny. Yeah, it's so hard to try to tell that story and put the story together for myself now, because I'm here in Carrboro, and to me Carrboro is so amazing that it's like, well, obviously, why wouldn't you want to move to Carrboro? But before I knew about Carrboro, I have to get back in that mindset. I was living in LA. I had gone to film school in Orange County, California, at a place called Chapman University. I got my MFA there in film production, and then I moved to LA with my wife, where I started working in the industry as a cinematographer and a camera operator, and just kind of cutting my teeth on all kinds of stuff out there. And documentaries have always been the thing I think I wanted to do the most, and that's what I started working on a lot of. And I started a company with a business partner of mine. His name is Mark Solomon, and that was about 10 years ago. And we did pretty well. We got to work on a lot of different things. All the while I started having children with my wife, and one, then two, then three. But by the time we had our third, we were looking for a place to set up shop, forever, or at least for a while. And
where you could raise your kids,
our kids, and somewhere that felt clean in terms of the environment, air and water, and LA was not proving to be that place. So my parents had been living out in Greensboro for about 15 years, something like that. And then my sister had moved out here, and then my brother had moved out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my brother's in Chapel Hill. No, he's actually in Durham, right on the border of Durham and Chapel Hill. My sister's also in Greensboro. And I have family here. My aunt and her family have lived in Chapel Hill ever since I can remember.
Oh,
so
okay.
we visited out here, and Carrboro had always been an attractive place. I think Weaver Street Market, somebody was like, go to Weaver Street Market. You go there, you sit down, you realize it's sort of the epicenter, at least it's what it felt like then, that it was this epicenter of this really cool, progressive place where the slogan is feel free.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to go somewhere where you can feel free? So
right.
we finally decided to move out here. It was, we went to Chapel Hill. We were renting a house, and then we started looking around in Carrboro. and fortunately we were able to find a place that was in the trees with deer walking around. I mean, deer.
I know.
You know, like it is so cool to live in a forest, which is where we live, and I love it. So, and Carborough is filled with really cool, thoughtful, open-minded people of so many different backgrounds, and that's why we came out here. And I'm from New Orleans, which is a place where you have to have pride. It's one of those places where you have pride to be from that place.
Right.
But now living in Carborough, I think my Carborough pride has probably surpassed my New Orleans pride. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, that's what happens. You know, I feel the same way. I lived in Indiana until I was 25, and then I came down here, and I feel like I was born in Indiana, but I grew up in Carborough. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you'll be raising your kids here,
Yeah.
and it's a great thing.
Yeah.
So now,
Wait, can I interrupt you 1 second?
Yeah.
I just want to say something that I still don't even know all the way what it means to be a Carborian. Like, I don't know everything about Carborough. Like, I don't even know. I haven't touched on the full essence of what it is, and that's kind of what's cool about this place. I'm still discovering what it is, and I feel like a newcomer here, and I'm still respectfully trying to, you know, like meeting somebody like you and engaging with somebody like you, so involved in the community here. It's really cool because I feel like I can I can get a little piece of what this place is from
Right. So let's talk about your movie.
Okay.
We Are Here.
Yeah.
I read on your little thing that you had gone to a Paperhand Puppet performance.
Yeah.
And that it really touched you. So what were your thoughts on that?
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So when we moved here, I think it was 2015-ish, near August, July maybe. And one of the first things somebody said was, you should go see this show called Paperhand Puppet Intervention. And so we had our 3 kids, and we went to this magical place called the Varsity Theater, which something like I'd never seen before, surrounded by the trees and, you know, these old, almost ancient steps, you know.
Right.
It's like, where are we? This is amazing. And there were all these people there, and all of a sudden these puppets come on stage, these giant puppets, and it just was
it's like magic.
It was a magical, striking. I'd never seen anything like it before, honestly, and I've never felt. It wasn't just the puppets, and it wasn't just the performance. It was the context as well. It was the people, the space, the trees, and then this performance, and everything that the performance was about, which is, you know, environmental.
The thoughtfulness.
Yeah, the thoughtfulness,
whole
the reverence for life, not just human life, but all life.
Right.
The reverence for balance, and you know, seeing the value in the moment. All of that came through in this show, and I just felt like a kid. You know, the first time I saw it engaged a part of my mind and my spirit, my creative spirit, that had been dormant, I think, since I was a kid.
Right.
And it's what we're looking for, at least what I'm looking for in every film I watch. You know, this sense of wonder. And when I was watching it, it was so potent, this sense of wonder in me. It's almost like you ascend to a higher plane. You know, it's like a catharsis or a spiritual experience, honestly, going to these shows. So from that first show, I thought, wow, these, you know, I was just pretty much overwhelmed, and I had gone to multiple years after that, and one thing that I started to do is I started to watch, I also love watching the puppeteers, and like I'll just sit there and just watch the puppeteers for a while, or just watch the band, and start to observe the different parts of the show. And I became really fascinated by them, especially at that time. One of their co-founders, Donovan Zimmerman, and I started to watch him, and there was something so. There was an interesting contrast that I saw with him. This huge hope in him, but also I could see this like this darkness, this brooding kind of darkness there, and I was just like, I got to make a film on this group of people, and I got to center it around Donovan. So one day I just got the courage to reach out to him and say, hey, can I meet you at somewhere? And we actually met here at Open Eye Cafe, and I told him I wanted to make a documentary on him and on them, and he said, let's do it. And I didn't know how long it would be. I didn't know if it was like going to be a 1-day shoot or a 2-day shoot, or like a few weeks of an edit. And it turned into a much longer shoot where I kind of just poured my heart and soul into it, and 2 years of editing. And there was no funding for this, Like I'm a professional filmmaker. I work for brands. We do work for hire, work for different brands. We develop original content for brands or networks. And this was something that came completely from the inside. No outside forces commissioned us to do this.
Right.
And our company, I say my company, the Marks is our company name, and we decided to back it in terms of allowing me to work on it, which obviously there's an opportunity cost there when I'm just going to devote myself to unpaid work.
Right.
But
where's the other Mark, by the way?
He's in LA.
Okay.
So yeah, we're bi-coastal. We have two offices, and yeah, it's great. I'm so grateful that he said, go do it. You want to do this? We've been working on brand-driven work for 10 years. You
needed some replenishing of your soul, right?
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. And seeing Paperhand, these are people that seem to work from a place where their creative output is centered on their core or directed by their core ideals, and that's not something that I've experienced in my industries, and I wanted to experience that. So, excuse me.
And just like with them too, they don't get paid. I mean, they're not making a ton of money.
They're not raking in.
You can tell it's just from their souls.
Yeah.
All of them, everybody who is involved in it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to watch people really give, and here we are, the beneficiaries of that, of their giving. And they enjoy it. That's the other thing. I wanted to enjoy what I was going to do the way I saw them enjoying.
Right.
I wanted to experience that. So I remember, looking at some of my early footage, and I would just sit back at my desk with a beer and just press play and maybe play a little music to some images of a puppet moving through the frame, and I was just taken to another place. And it gave me such hope as a filmmaker, as an artist, that I was on some sort of path here that was worth going down. Which is, as artists, I think, or filmmakers, or people who make stuff, sometimes you don't know if you're on the right path.
Right.
And there's not necessarily a feeling of somebody patting you on the back saying that's the right path.
Right.
So I felt like this inner.
You knew. I mean, you had to know.
I knew, but there was always this doubt.
Right.
I had no real team behind me going like, yeah, let's go together.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
pretty much just me at this point, and my wife.
Now, did you? What role did your wife play?
My wife was the ever encouraging, supporting. She's the closest person in my life, obviously.
What's her name?
Her name is Melissa.
Okay.
Yeah. And, she said, this is great. You do this. This is great. You keep doing it. I would show her edits, and I would, at like 11 p.m., she's exhausted. She's trying to go to bed. And I'd say, hey, can I show you something real quick? And I'd sit her down. She'd be like sitting there, and I'd press play, and like, she'd say, that's really good. That's really good. And it might have just been a slight adjustment of something from like the week before.
Right.
And
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you do the photography?
Yes.
And what else did you do? Did you do all of
Everything.
this? Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh wow!
I mean,
I'm even more impressed.
Thank you. Well, let me be. So I shot probably 98% of it. On 2 performance days, I had a few other camera people come and a few sound people come, and they donated their time because they believed in this idea as well. So, yeah, like I said, on a couple of days, we had some extra team members come, but I'd say 98% of what you see is just me with the camera by myself. Something I really had never done before. Usually I operate with a team of people, but doing it this way as a single person enabled me to get closer to the subject. You know? Right. And and then I edited it by myself.
You did all the editing.
Yeah.
See, I think that's one of the toughest things about filmmaking is knowing what to leave in.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
And I've often said that most of the films that I've watched would be better if they were half as long as they are.
Right.
But this is funny. A friend of mine, I was telling her about your movie on Saturday, and she said, "So how long is this movie?" And I said, I think about a half hour. And it's because it's so good that there was no point in it when I felt like, oh God, when is this going to be, or why did he put that in? I mean, everything that you included in that movie is relevant.
Thank you.
And you did such a great job with everything, the sound, the photography, everything.
Thank you.
It's a joy. It really is a joy. So now you have the film, and where have you screened it so far?
We had one screening at the Haw River Ballroom. That was like the inaugural screening, and it was great. You know, a lot of the casting crew of Paperhand were there. It's a beautiful venue. It was actually the first time the Haw River Ballroom had been open to the public since closing down for the pandemic.
Right.
It was a joy. And we have another screening coming up at the Varsity Theater on September 9th, which, you know, I understand right now is maybe not the best time for people to go into an indoor settings and watch something. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I've submitted it to loads of film festivals, and I'm hoping Carborough Film Festival will screen it. We'll see.
I'm hoping too.
And we're just trying to, I just want people to have an opportunity to see it, I guess. I mean, yeah. No, I do. Not I guess. I 100% do. It just feels weirdly like selfish to want that, but that's what we want as artists. We want to share.
Right. Well, as I said, I think you really captured the essence of what those folks are all about. Like I told you, I saw them at their very first performance at the Haw River Festival over 20 years ago, before they were even called Paperhand. And I could tell even back then that they were destined for great things.
Yeah.
And they've never lost their focus on what's important with their production.
Yeah.
They've stayed true to themselves throughout.
Yeah.
And you really captured that.
Thank you.
It's a joy to watch, and I hope that everybody, well, I hope you find some more places to screen it so that everybody can see it. Because around here, everybody loves those guys.
I know.
Their performances are magical.
Yeah.
And your film is magical too.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for meeting today. It's great to meet you.
It was wonderful to meet you.
Okay.